Prowler mode, 6 weapon styles, over 1,000 quests. This is potentially one of the best Monster Hunter games out there. Welcome back, Hunters. It's great to be back with another journal for Monster Hunter, whatever Monster Hunter we're doing. It's just great to be back and playing this game after a little break over in Eorzea. And for those who might have missed my pledge, I am trying to play Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate with the goal of slaying Bloodbath Diablos with every single weapon to prove that I am an Omni Hunter. So I'm trying to master all the weapons, and so far after my first week, I have touched 5 weapons, 3 of which I rarely touch. Those include, I actually touched 4 weapons I rarely touch. The insect glaive, the light bowgun, the heavy bowgun, the bow. I never had a ranged weapon or hunt or anything. So I'm going to walk you through my experience, what I think of the weapons, what I think of Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate after about 10 hours into it, more closer to 8. So just getting started right away, the first thing I said I would do differently with this game is create a female hunter so that I could start appreciating the female armor for once. They're very different designs. I've played now like 6 Monster Hunter games as the male hunter. It's time to see what the female hunter is about. And I have to say, so far, I love her drip. So first of all, she has a really like cool walking animation that just makes her look so like cool. And then just the drip I started with has a lot of like flowy pieces to it, which I love. And I've upgraded my armor at least once so far, and I just love the way she looks. So I thought it was going to kind of break me from my sense of immersion if I was playing a female character, but I couldn't have been any further from the truth. I named her Hey Jay because it's me, and I honestly hardly even notice it's a more feminine build when I'm hunting. So it did not ruin the immersion at all, and I'm so happy I get to dabble with a whole different type of look, because now I get to dabble with whole new armor sets I never really saw before. The next thing was my introduction to our base village, which is called Burna, and Burna is filled with these Mufas, and I love the Mufas. I love their name. I love that I can pet them, and I'm sorry, Poogie, step aside. Mufas are what's on the menu. Maybe not what's on the menu, but they are way better than our boy Poogie. Sorry, Poogie, Mufas are just better, and it's more fun to say. I feel there's so much pun potential with the Mufas. I just haven't found out how to like. The other thing that I noticed out of the village, not everything is great. So I met our quest lady, which is probably the most dull quest counter girl we have ever gotten in our lives. She has no personality. She has no drip. I request that we get a new quest lady because this one is just meh. The other thing that's a little bit of a in the village is the fact that when we're eating, we're just eating cheese fondue. And at first I didn't even realize what it was. I'm like, why is this all stringy? What are these balls? This is disgusting. And then people are like, what? You don't like cheese fondue? I was like, oh, that's what it is. I've had cheese fondue maybe twice in my entire life. So no, I don't have a big appreciation for it. But when you compare this to all the other meals we've gotten in our past Monster Hunter games, whether they were massive like, steaks or chicken or soups or what else did we get? The cheese fondue is the least interesting. And then you top it off with some sauce, which just makes everything so much more confusing. I'm very confused with the cooking. I say I'm confused, but I feel I know what I'm doing still. It's a very weird feeling to be. Just the fact that you have to mix your ingredients to unlock the food, and then once you've unlocked the food and you eat the food, you have to put the sauce to unlock different skills. I guess the sauce is like whether you want to roast it, steam it, or I just understood what the equivalent was to the game. We've unlocked our Classy, of course. First Palico to do was to get Classy. This time we got a little bit of a rougher Classy. Classy's getting a little seasoned now that we're in I think this is the 7th Monster Hunter journey. So yeah, Classy's missing an eye. We don't know what happened. Maybe he'll get another one later on, but this is our Classy for Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. We've also encountered a very familiar character that I have come to know as my moderator Blue, but the Master of Style is here, which now I understand the moderator Blue has based his whole identity based on. So this is a character like the instructor from Monster Hunter, which somehow I've avoided in most of my games until now. But now to see him in my village, I'm like, hey, Blue's here. We eventually unlock 3 other towns. Kokoto, which is the base town from Monster Hunter 1. Poke, which I think is from the 2nd Monster Hunter game. And Yukumo, which is from the portable 3rd game. And all of them are vying for like the reputation and tourism to attract people to the village. So there seems to be like a point system attributed to the villages based on the quests you do for that village. I like that system. I'm not quite sure what it means yet, but I just love the fact that I can grind something else in a game of grinding so many things. So unfortunately, Poke and Yukumo, I don't really have any attachment to it because I haven't played it. So these are new towns to me and I have no sense of nostalgia to them. So all I can say is Poke is like in a frozen mountain, which I don't really care about. And Yukumo is one of the most beautiful towns I've seen. It's very serene, just beautiful. Kokoro, the village from Monster Hunter 1, when I arrived there, oh, I got flooded with nostalgia, even though I've only streamed Monster Hunter 1 like 4 times. Oh, we're back, it's in HD, it looks so good. I'm like, oh, the Elder is here. Oh, this is here, this is here. And it was just throwing me back. And of course, one of like these villages give their own quests. And one of the quests that I got was Velociprey, to which I finished. And then it was the Velocidrome. I was like, oh, I'm not doing this quest until I get to my sword and shield because I want to reenact my Monster Hunter 1 first stream. And we're going to go back and do it properly in this time. Oh, and then I was going to talk about Neko the cat. So that is the farm system, which I've also unlocked in the base village. Very similar, reminds me a lot to the submarine system in Rise Sunbreak. And I think that's just how it is. A lot of these mechanics carry over game to game. Looking at the weapons, so just to give you a little bit of clarity of how am I doing this approach. So I've already shared that every 3 quests or quest attempts, I change my weapon. So I decided, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see all of the weapons are laid out there. Prowler's not there because I treat it as an exception. And I decided to start with Switch Axe, so that means I do 3 quests as Switch Axe, and then I switch into the next weapon to the right, which is Charge Blade. And then once I do 3 there, I move to the next, Insect Glaive, and then Light Bowgun and all that. And that's how I'm going to progress, and this is how I'm going to build my skill and aptitude for all the weapons. And I can say that Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is the best game to do this with because of its sheer like monster amount of quests, and also because there are 6 styles to play the weapons at. So I can adapt my style to the weapon in 6 different ways. So I've learned that there's the Guild, the Striker, the Aerial, the Adept, Valor, and Alchemy. So when I played Switch Axe and Charge Blade, I played them in Guild form, which is the standard form as you play them in all the other games. And that was just to give me a base to see what it's about. With all the range weapons, I used Adept as per chat's recommendation. And Adept is more about dodging out of the way, and I have to say I absolutely love that play style. Those are really the only 2 I have played with. Striker, from what I understand, is to give you more slots to do more arts that is unique to this game. Aerial is to give you, instead of rolling, you can vault off of monsters and do more aerial attacks, which I'm really curious to try eventually. We've got Valor, which I don't know what that is. I think it's like you sheath your weapon and unsheath at the last minute for max damage. And then we got Alchemy, which also I don't know. I think it's about putting things in a barrel and then you get some magic or something. And then the fact that we have so many quests to do is great because with all of my weapons, because I have a rotation of 3, what I'm doing right now in early game, just naturally, is I'll go into a gather quest and I will just take my time, play around with the weapon. Then I will go to a small monster quest where I actually try to use the weapon in a setting of killing small monsters. And then I will finish off with a large monster hunt to really bring it all together and understand how to hunt with the weapon. It's been working so well, and the fact that I always have fresh new quests to check off as I'm doing this, it's fulfilling my progression, like sense of progression. It's letting me practice with my weapons. It just comes together very good. So this pledge matched up to this game is really good so far. I might regret it later on. Starting off with the Switch Axe, I have to say, I don't know if I'm very rusty or if the old world Switch Axe is just really too different. I really struggled to appreciate the Switch Axe. It feels slow, sluggish, and out of the 5 weapons that I've tried this week, it is my least favorite. So the Switch Axe needs some love because I think I've abandoned it too long and I just don't know how to play it in old world. So right now I don't like playing as Switch Axe, which is really weird for me to say. Charge Blade, just so happened I rotated into Charge Blade right when the Great Maccao was unlocked, which is the first large monster you fight in this game. Charge Blade felt right at home. It felt so good, and it's also probably because I'm coming off of 1 year of playing Charge Blade in 4U. So the Charge Blade, the moveset was familiar, I had the muscle memory, and I was actually able to do things well for the most part. What threw me off is you have to charge your shield twice now, which is something that they changed in GU. In 4U, it's just once you charge it, you're good. Now you gotta do it twice, which I'm like, oh, that's a bit of a change that I have to really get used to. And then we fought the Great Maccao, which was rocking my world. I'm like, why am I taking so much damage? I later learned it's because I was using a base armor that had 5 defense. I was like, oh, we got to change that. So I almost carded to Great Maccao. He has like a lot of gap closers in his moveset. He just like springs off his tail and can jump on you. He's a very cool monster. As a first monster in a game, I feel it offers a lot of variety. It's nice that he's not just a raptor. He's even better, I would say, than the Great Jagras. He's just got such unique personality. I really like the Great Maccao. So after I killed him, barely, I'm like, okay, we need some proper armor. So I went out and built my first, so I got to specify now because I'm going to have a lot of armor sets to carry me through this pledge. So I built my first Swordmaster, I think it's called, armor, and I just focused on defense. So we got our defense from 5 to 25. Before going to the next weapon, which was Insect Glaive, I dabbled with the Prowler. I learned that there were unique quests. I messed around with like burrowing underground. I learned the whole moveset, how to heal with the Prowler, how to attack with the Prowler, how to throw the boomerang. And I really do enjoy the Prowler for gathering. The fact that I don't need any items in my inventory and I can just like gather pretty much as I want, because you don't need pickaxes, you don't need bug nets. He is an amazing gather tool. But so far I've been only using Prowlers in Prowler exclusive quests because I'm saving the other quests to learn weapons in. How is Prowler going to take part in my pledge? I don't know yet, but it doesn't count as a weapon, as I said in my pledge video. It's kind of there as this weird thing that I acknowledge I'm enjoying, but it doesn't play part of my rotating 3. After that, I went into Insect Glaive. I did go with the aerial Insect Glaive as per recommendation. I don't think I know how to play Insect Glaive at all, even though I ended up fighting a bull drum with it, which, by the way, love that fight. So what I've learned with Insect Glaive is I have to shoot my bug, and depending what monster it hits or what part of the monster, it's going to come back with 3 different colors. Red is the one that gives you like all these attack moves. I think there's a yellow and a white, or an orange and a white, and they all do kind of different things, but red is the one that I want to do. So I got to hold like a button to shoot my bug, recall it so I can get the fuel or whatever to do my attacks. It really is going to take me a while to like build a muscle memory for that. What I do love is that you can level up your Kinsects by getting some jelly in the field and then feeding it. So I was working on feeding it to level up its speed, and I didn't have enough jelly. But now when I go out into the wild, I'm literally gathering anything I can find, like mushrooms mine, jelly mine, seeds that I've never gotten before, like huskberries and stuff. I just need to gather so much stuff because this pledge is going to demand me to master everything the game has to offer. Monster bones, give me that. Or give me that. I need to build armor with all of this stuff. So I'm constantly filling up my pockets, which is a very different play style than past HJs. And I love that this pledge is forcing me to grow this way. So far, it's very enjoyable. The other thing is I was trying to jump a lot with the Insect Glaive, but I didn't know how to like actually do anything when I was in the air. So I ended up doing a lot of dumb things, as you can see on screen, but I'm going to get there. Insect Glaive has a lot of promise. I just got to figure out how to do it. Anyways, Bull Drum did not kill me, luckily, because I was able to always go around it, smack, the overhead smack with the Insect Glaive. I got some basic moves in there to figure out how to survive and hit. So Bull Drum has been slain. At this point, we shift into the gunner, so I had to build my gunner armor, build my first light bowgun. I've only used light bowgun once under the tutelage of Blue for one quest, which was like 2 years ago. So I completely don't know how to use this weapon. I am so glad I went into adept style, and with my gunner armor, I focused on trying to build the skill for health because I'm just trying to get some survivability skills at this point instead of trying to optimize for this skill or that skill. I want to get the most default armor sets I can that can carry me through regardless of what weapon I switch out to. When we get into endgame, whether it's high rank stuff or G rank stuff, I will need to start specializing my armor, but I'm going to try to delay that as long as I can, just for the sake of grinding and for efficiency in getting through this pledge. Light bowgun, I ended up going up against a Gendrome, and I learned about the power of the pellet shot. So I also learned about the importance of looking at what ammo your guns can be equipped with. I'm still learning all the different ammos, what to use, but I do know I like pellet shots. It's like a shotgun. And so with Gendrome, he'd attack me, I'd dodge, I'd do this like cool animation, which is the adept style, and then I would go straight into a reloaded shot, and I'd be like, boom, 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 and it was just like cycle and repeat. I was like, oh man, Bloodbath Diablos is gonna be so easy. If I just use adept style, I just dodge and shoot. It's so easy. It's a very different play style. It feels like cheating, honestly. Then we went to heavy bowgun, which is pretty much the same thing. I use heavy bowgun adept style. And the only big difference is you have siege mode, which is really cool. You get to like sit down as a tank and just go like poo, 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 which is bigger pew-pews. And then the one thing I don't like is the slow animation when it comes to sheathing, unsheathing the gun. It's just so slow and leaves you open to big damage. I fought a Cephadrome with this thing as my large monster. It took me 15 minutes. I really struggled with heavy bowgun. Or maybe it's Cephadrome. I don't know. When it comes to the two, I'm surprised. I actually really prefer light bowgun. So heavy bowgun needs some work because I got to figure out how to play that thing better because it is a lot slower. So, and then finally I ended the streams with the bow. Again, I stuck to adept style. And the bow at first, I was like, this is the dumbest weapon. Like, I do not understand how to aim it because there's no motion controls. And the way that they make you aim is so dumb. Like, you have to hold a button that points out a red light. That's your aim. And then you have to like use the right joystick as you're fiddling with all these other buttons to move it. But it's not like a sensitive move. It's like a jarring, like, oh, you want to go 40 degree this way? You want to go 40 degree this way? I'm like, no, I just want to nudge it a little bit. So aiming is a pain. I don't know why they don't use the same aiming system as the light and heavy bowgun. It's right there. Just use that for bow. So what I ended up doing is, so in my bow training, I ended up going up against an Arzuros. And I learned that you basically want to charge your bow and then I just shoot my bear. I was using power coding as well as close-up coding so that I didn't have to aim. I would just go close to him, shoot, charge, shoot, hit A afterwards. So I get another like pew pew afterwards, and I would just walk around him, shoot, pew, 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 shoot and repeat. It was pretty straightforward. It kind of felt like super easy as a weapon and almost not challenging at all. So these range weapons are my biggest mystery to unlock because they are suggesting that they make the game easy, but I know that's not going to be the case later on. So I'm on guard with the easiness that they seem to be showing. Now I finished through my bow's 3 rotations, which means the next time I go and play the game, I'm going to be switching to the greatsword, which is another one of my weak points. I've barely ever played the greatsword, and it's slow and clunky, which is not my favorite play style. A lot of people are suggesting, I think, Adept or Valor for this one. So I don't know, man. But that's what I have to look forward to is greatsword, and then I forget what's after that. Just look at the chart. So I'll be back after I rotate through another 4 or 5 different weapons. And right now I'm at 2-star in low rank. So all of this is very slow progress, and I love it. So we're making progress. We're learning weapons. I'm getting challenged. More importantly, I'm having a lot of fun with this. So hopefully I'll see you on stream as I continue this pledge or in the next journal. And until next time, keep it classy.